The Seattle Boston also fourth in the WNBA. Center jump circle. We are underway from Indianapolis. Odyssey Sims tracks down the jump ball.
With their ball screen action, and they really have to do a good job at defending the three-point.
4 of their last 5, so they are playing well. Sims bounces. Boston draws the foul. She'll head to 2015 and 2016. Help navigate the 2015 Indiana Fever, a win away from a champion.
See Ebony Hoffman to her right. In the previous 2 meetings, Seattle went 10 for 43 from the three-point line.
Mitchell, backdoor, and the find is there.
Against Seattle. That was part of the reason why Indiana won.
And Boston, who's been aggressive early, draws the digit lead in the first half on Friday and on Sunday against the Lynx. Just couldn't hold it. That's the top team in the W.
Important for Aaliyah Boston to get off to a great start for Indiana. Seattle is long and athletic.
Here's Odyssey Sims on the drive. Takes it at Diggins, and the ball is off of Sims. Indiana touches it last. Fever turn it over.
Skylar Diggins, the point guard for Seattle, having won.
Storm had the league's 3rd-ranked defense. They've been 2nd in the WNBA since the beginning of July. As Agumake gets it to go. Mitchell, quick trigger, and hits.
Unguardable.
The most points, total points in a season in Fever franchise history. And Seattle has taken that new acquisition, Brittany Sykes, at the trade deadline. She is a slasher. And Nagba they go under. Sims launches into the rim.
I love the vertical game of the Fever right now. They're not settling for playing against the quarter-court defense.
Non-contact portions of practice. She has yet to take part in a full practice. Stephanie White reiterating today she will need to do numerous of those, ideally even 5 of those before she can. Good hands there by Aaliyah. Boston just wrestles it away from Agumake, and here is Mitchell. Here tonight, 86%. Open things up. Here is Sykes launching and missing, but there's a whistle as well on Aerial Powers on the closeout.
Now Minnesota playing, her spacing and her timing, her ability to read the game, to read the second level, read the third level.
In 4 of their last 6 games, despite this losing streak, led by double digits in Sykes. Foul on that 3-point shot. Knocks it. The Fever taking good care of the ball so far. As Boston ducks in. Shot too strong. Powers pulls down the rebound and lays it in this year. Wheeler feed inside. Magbagor fade. Fire and hit. Powers backing her way into Diggins. Gets inside. Kick out Mitchell. Who hits a 3?
Turner first being Seattle out of transition. They've been disruptive with their defense. And you can see why. To their defense. They've done an excellent job guarding.
Really the entirety of games lately as Sims hasn't been shy, but can't connect on that 3. There's Dantes who pulls it down and makes it home. Magbagor turns the corner, lays it in.
Sykes doing a good job of stuffing that backdoor cut, but it just sets up the screen and roll. It's also the amount of attention.
Williams looking inside for Agumake, and Indiana forces it over.
Indiana's transition defense has been outstanding.
Williams sets up Diggins. Can't connect on the 3 ball.
It's back-to-back times. They got back in transition and set.
Here's Malonga off balance. Difficult shot, and she gets the bounce.
She is so good. Just 19 years of age.
Petty being hounded by Agumake. Bounce inside Howard. Indiana out of rhythm, but Boston bails them out. She's been working.
The atmosphere was electric, the stakes were high, and basketball fans across the globe tuned in for what promised to be a thrilling showdown between 2 of the WNBA's most exciting teams. Welcome to the clash between the Seattle Storm and the Indiana Fever on August 26, 2025. A game that not only showcased raw talent but also delivered heart-stopping drama, passionate energy, and moments that will be remembered for years to come. If you thought this was going to be just another regular season matchup, think again. From the opening tip, it was clear that this contest had the intensity of a playoff battle, with both sides determined to prove a point on the national stage. The storylines leading up to this game were already drawing headlines. The Indiana Fever, led by their young superstar Caitlin Clark, entered the night with momentum and growing confidence. Clark's ability to combine deep three-point shooting with elite playmaking has not only transformed the Fever into contenders, but also reignited the fanbase with a sense of hope and belief. Alongside Clark, forward Aliyah Boston continued to dominate the paint, offering a 1-2 punch that most teams struggled to contain. Their chemistry, forged in just a short time, made the Fever one of the most watchable and dangerous teams in the league. On the other side stood the Seattle Storm, a franchise rich in history and championship pedigree. While the roster had evolved over the years, the Storm still carried the weight of expectation every time they stepped on the floor. With veterans anchoring the lineup and rising stars emerging, Seattle was eager to remind the league that they remained a force to be reckoned with. Jewel Lloyd, often called the Gold Mamba, came into the game in scintillating form, showcasing her trademark scoring ability and relentless competitiveness. Nneka Ogwumike, the savvy veteran with championship experience, brought leadership and toughness that perfectly complemented Seattle's perimeter firepower. The opening quarter began with both teams playing at a furious pace. Seattle looked sharp out of the gate, pushing the ball in transition and testing Indiana's defense with quick ball movement. Lloyd wasted no time asserting herself, hitting a contested jumper over Clark on the very first possession to set the tone. Indiana responded immediately, with Clark drawing a double team and whipping a pass to Boston inside for an easy bucket. Just like that, fans knew they were in for a battle where every possession mattered. What stood out early was the contrast in styles. The Storm relied heavily on perimeter shooting and spacing, spreading the floor to create driving lanes and open looks from deep. Lloyd knocked down a pair of threes within the first 5 minutes, forcing Indiana's defense to adjust. The Fever, however, played to their strengths by feeding Boston in the low post and letting Clark orchestrate the offense with surgical precision. Clark showed her vision with a no-look pass to Annalisa Smith for a mid-range jumper, and then moments later, she pulled up from way beyond the arc to drain a three that sent the Fever's bench into celebration. The crowd roared with every exchange, and the energy inside the arena reached a fever pitch. Seattle's ball movement was crisp, but Indiana's resilience was impossible to ignore. Boston fought for offensive rebounds against taller defenders, converting second-chance points that kept the Fever within striking distance. Clark's composure under pressure was remarkable. Even when trapped near half-court, she maintained control, threading passes through impossible angles as the first quarter wound down. Both teams traded buckets in what felt like a heavyweight boxing match. Lloyd continued to attack, hitting step-back jumpers and drawing fouls, while Clark answered with deep threes and transition assists. The scoreline reflected the intensity, a neck-and-neck battle where neither side could gain separation. By the time the buzzer sounded, the scoreboard read Seattle Storm 26, Indiana Fever 24, a fitting end to a quarter that showcased star power, grit, and a taste of the drama still to come. But this was just the beginning. Fans had witnessed flashes of brilliance from both sides, and the anticipation for the second quarter only grew. Would the Storm's veterans find a way to take control, or would Clark and Boston ignite another surge for Indiana? The stage was set, the players were locked in, and the game was only heating up. The second quarter began with both coaches making subtle adjustments, knowing that momentum could swing dramatically if either side found a rhythm. Seattle leaned on their bench depth, bringing in fresh legs to maintain their high-paced offense. Indiana, however, chose to keep Clark on the floor, understanding that her presence was crucial in keeping the offense fluid and effective. Right from the start of the quarter, the Storm attempted to trap Clark near the sidelines, forcing the ball out of her hands. Yet, her composure remained unshaken. She calmly swung the ball across the court to Kelsey Mitchell, who buried a three-pointer to remind Seattle that the Fever had more than one offensive weapon. On the other end, Seattle's execution was sharp. Nneka Ogwumike established herself inside, using her footwork and veteran savvy to score over Boston. Every possession felt like a battle of wills. Seattle tried to impose their experience, while Indiana countered with youthful energy and relentless determination. The Fever's defense tightened as well. Aliyah Boston denied easy entry passes into the paint, forcing Seattle to take contested shots. When Boston blocked a layup attempt from Ogwumike, the crowd erupted, and Indiana used that energy to fuel a fast break where Clark found Smith cutting to the rim for a powerful finish. Seattle wasn't rattled. Jewel Lloyd took over the scoring duties again, slicing through Indiana's defense with a combination of speed and precision. She nailed back-to-back jumpers that silenced the Fever's momentum temporarily. Lloyd's ability to rise to the occasion was nothing short of spectacular, and it was clear she relished the challenge of going toe-to-toe with Clark. Midway through the second quarter, the game turned into a showcase of individual brilliance. Clark hit another deep three that seemed almost impossible, launching it from several feet behind the arc as if it were a casual mid-range jumper. The shot stunned the Seattle defense and ignited the Fever's bench, proving once again why she was considered one of the most dangerous shooters in basketball. But Seattle immediately answered, with Ezi Magbega scoring on a putback layup after crashing the boards. It was a reminder that while Clark could create magic, the Storm thrived off collective effort and contributions from every player. The intensity only increased as halftime approached. Every possession was executed with precision, and every mistake was punished. Indiana pushed the tempo, trying to wear down Seattle with quick transitions. Clark, reading the defense like a seasoned veteran, threaded a bounce pass between two defenders that landed perfectly in Boston's hands for an easy finish. Seattle countered with calm, deliberate offense, relying on spacing and movement. Lloyd continued her hot streak, while Magbega controlled the glass, ensuring the Storm stayed competitive past her defender, and hit a clutch jumper just as the buzzer sounded. The halftime scoreboard read Seattle Storm 49, Indiana Fever 48, a razor-thin margin that perfectly encapsulated the competitiveness of the first half.